This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
I was on mute. All right. All right, everyone, and welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of your hosts, and to my right is a man who was once John Cena's chauffeur, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing tonight?
I was, and you know what? He turned on me too. And he did it in the exact same way. He didn't tell me I was going to be let go. He just nailed me right in the jewels and said, "That's it. That's how my tenure came to an end."
Did he also yell at you about how he was talent and you were mediocre and he was just going to bury you?
Yes. He also told me that I get nothing, and you know.
Thanks, Judge Smales. All right, well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got to talk about opening day. What a weekend that was.
Wow.
We're going to talk about the Torpedo bats, whether it's a controversy or a non-controversy. We got an update on OV Gold Watch 2025, and we're going to talk about, and we have a new baseball competition we'll also reveal.
Yes.
And we'll also talk about our favorite athletes to wear the number 24.
Yes, 24. This was one of the easiest picks for me. I didn't even have to think. And if you've listened to my tenure on this show, you might have to. You might already have an idea.
You might. But I'm gonna play Homer Alert in this one. So for sure for number 24. But in the meantime, let's remind the people listening and watching to follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. Also, check out our other podcasts and written articles on bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, and Pandora. And also, please don't forget to hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube. That way you know when we go live. That way you know when we have show announcements, when we have other things going on. Just a heads up for business details. This weekend show, this Saturday show, will not be live, as I will be in Atlanta for a friend's wedding. So I'm going to be there, living it up. I leave Thursday. I come back Tuesday. So we'll be back live next week, but it'll be on Wednesday at 6:30. And well, Wednesday, a little bit later on Wednesday, but we'll be back. But we'll have a pre-recorded show. We're going to put that in the can tomorrow. And it'll be available Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. It'll be on podcast. It'll be on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page. And I'll give you a little bit of preview of what we're going to talk about. We've talked about this mini-series or limited series, as they call it now. Yeah. It's on Netflix, the Mr. McMahon mini-series. All 6 episodes, we're going to talk about the whole entire thing. And it's not going to be part of the canon, but it's going to be part of the podcast, and it's going to be a special-ish episode.
Mhm.
So you're going to want to tune in and check that out on the Belly Up YouTube page and on your preferred podcast app. On the podcast side, though, we just want to remind you to rate, review, comment. That means leave a 5-star rating, leave a review where you can, and also if you're on Spotify, leave us a comment. We'll read them. And actually, I went back in the archives for our ratings, and I found a review on YouTube. I'm sorry, on the Apple Podcast website.
Yeah.
This is from Love Taylor 1313. It's from December 2024. This is how we've kind of neglected looking for reviews, but this is what Love Taylor 1313 says. It says Ryan and Dustin, and I quote, Ryan and Dustin are some of the best in the business with their exceptional professionalism and love of the game. I always love tuning in to hear their takes regarding not only about how the games play out, but also any breaking news that comes up in the sports universe. If you're looking for a quality sports podcast with hosts who know their stuff, then you'll love No Credentials Required. Well, thank you, Taylor. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that is a perfect lead-in.
Yes.
What time is it?
Oh, since we're a live show on regularly on Tuesdays, although we're a little late today, Tuesdays at 6:30 Eastern, and on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. All again, this week we're preempted for a special, but we're a live show. Leave a comment. We'll read them on the air. But yes, it is my non-existent watch is telling me something.
Yeah, it's chime time. Time for you to be like Taylor 1313.
That's right. Love Taylor. 13.
Love Taylor 1313.
I was playing my invisible harp.
Yes, a beautiful. Harp is another thing. A harpist? I don't know, but a harp player is another thing I did not expect to add to your long list of talents, but here we are.
It's a harper.
That's what I thought. I was.
I looked it up. No, wait. Actually, no. It's both.
Oh,
a harper or a harpist.
Okay.
So this is according to Wikipedia. A person who plays a pedal harp is called a harpist. A person who plays a folk harp is called a harper, or sometimes a harpist. Either may be called a harp player, and the distinctions are not strict. So we're both right.
All right.
Hey,
right, here we go. I wonder if Bryce is a harper in Philly. I don't know. I'll see myself out. I'm sorry.
Well, it isn't stroke strings. He strokes a bat. So.
He does. He does. We'll be getting into a certain type of bat later in the show.
That's right. We will. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about opening day. What a weekend that was, especially if you're a fan of this team.
New York Yankees?
The New York Yankees!
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Costanza.
I got a text message from the New York Yankees the other day because I'm on their promotions list for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it said the following with a picture of Jazz Chisholm and Aaron Judge giving each other high fives. And it says, anyone order 36 runs, 15 homers, and 3 wins? And that was yesterday at 11:56 a.m.
Wow.
So I ordered 3 wins, but I didn't expect a bonus prize of 15 home runs and 36 runs scored.
Yeah. Didn't they? It was a franchise record at the very least. 9 home runs.
It was 9 home runs on Saturday alone. Man. They had 7 in the first 3.
I was doing something else. I can't remember what I was doing. It might have been cleaning up from breakfast or something. Because I ate after the show. And you texted me and you're like, the Yankees just went back to back to back, and I was like, oh,
on 3 pitches.
Nasty Nestor wasn't so nasty, so I quickly turned on the game, and I watched the rest of that thing, and the Brewers did score like 7 runs. They kept trying to claw their way back into it. The only problem is the Yankees scored 20 runs. It was like a football score.
I actually put it on my social medias, personal, and I wrote, after 7 innings, Giants 20, Packers 6.
Yeah,
and your uncle commented on my post. He said, "There's no way the Giants score 20 points."
Yeah. Oh man.
There's no way next year. Maybe next year. Hey, maybe next year, depending on who's the quarterback. That's right. But this was quite a weekend. Yesterday we had. I'm counting Monday too, because it's worth noting.
Yeah.
That we had the first cycle hit last in 2024 yesterday, or 2025 yesterday, from the Cubs. Trying to remember his name. Hang on. Carson Kelly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
At the first cycle in an 18-3 win over the Athletics.
Man, also breaking news: Ellie De La Cruz is very good. His opening weekend for the Reds, he's on a roll. He's on a roll. His plate discipline was one of the things that would have to improve, and early returns are. It's improved. It's improved.
Good. I'm happy. That's one guy I'm happy for. I wanted to see him. We talked about him in the baseball preview last week. I said the Reds season will depend, yes, on Ellie De La Cruz and how much he can contribute at the plate, but also what kind of plate discipline he has, if he's improved on it. And from what you're telling me, Dustin, it sounds like he has.
Yeah, for opening weekend he has. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And also the Reds have Brady Singer on their pitching staff, which I completely forgot about. He looked good in his first start. I don't know how long that's going to hold off, but is our main focus the Cincinnati Reds? No. We're here to talk about the New York Yankees because we are Yankee fans.
Yes.
And if you are not a fan of the Yankees, I'm sorry, but Ryan and I are going to revel in this opening weekend a little bit, because I think, if you know from my relatively, compared to Ryan, short tenure on this show, but I've been here for a bit now. I'm always pessimistic, and I want to get your thoughts, Ryan, because if you rewind to last year, right around when opening day happened, we had Levesque we just had Levesque on the show the first time.
Yep.
And you and he were talking about the great start that they had gotten off to. And I said, my concern is always pitching. I don't know if they have enough pitching, because the offense will eventually cooled down. And Levesque at that time, he kind of said, "You're a tough Yankee fan to please." And I said, the Yankees offense always seems to slump at some point, and I don't know. And I mean, they look like world beaters. We know this pace won't keep up, but how do you think their offense is going to keep up over the season? And we'll get to what a lot of people are saying is the reason. We'll get to that, but general thoughts. Do you think the offense is good enough in what I think is going to be a tough division in the AL East to keep it going? Because Marcus Stroman, I didn't watch all of his start, but he only got about 4 innings. Looked like he struggled a little bit from what I saw, then settled down. But you need more than 4 innings from your starters. But it was just the offense was so good that it didn't really matter.
No, they got 5 and change from who pitched on Thursday? Darn it.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember.
Carlos Rodon. They got 5 innings. They got 5 and a third from him, and then the bullpen took over when they needed to.
And then after that was Max Meyer that pitched on Friday.
Yeah, no, for Max Fried pitched on Saturday.
Or Friday, yeah. Geez, I'm all over the place. Max Fried, Max Meyer's on the Marlins. I don't know why that came out. Max Fried, he struggled a little bit too.
Yeah. Even after it was given a 4-run lead and after the first inning, I think part of it was that it was such a long inning. Like he couldn't when you're a pitcher and you are in the midst of a long inning by your offense, it's going to take a while to adjust. And I could tell I was actually get myself cleaned up to go out and do some clothes shopping on Saturday afternoon. Listening to the game, I was getting ready, and you could tell after such a long inning in the first inning, in the top bottom of the first inning, pitchers take their time getting used to being back out there. So yeah, he didn't pitch great. I don't think he got the win. I'll double check.
Yeah, I don't, because I think he only
did
went
not
5.
get the win. He did not get the win. It was actually Yoendris Gomez who got the win. But it was just, but the Yankees were so far ahead at that point. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that it's with it too. Their defense was terrible on Saturday. Even though they scored 20 runs and they had 18 hits, they still committed 5 errors, which is uncharacteristic for this Yankees team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point that I did not consider, but I'm always paranoid about the pitching. I'm always paranoid, and Stroman, Farid, and I mean Rodon pitched. He pitched okay.
Did well.
They did not inspire a lot of confidence. I'm happy with the Yankees wins, but there's no way the offense. It's going to cool off. It's going to cool off at some point. That's the way I always feel about it.
And do you know who got the win on Sunday?
Sunday, I cannot remember. Cannot recall.
It was not Marcus Stroman who got the win.
Yeah, because
Tim Hill got the win.
Oh man, yeah, because I was going to say Stroman only went like 4 or something like that.
I'm gonna look at the box score, and yeah, Stroman was 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run allowed. And then Hill pitched an inning and a third, and wound up getting the win for the Yankees. So, because at that point it was only 5-2 at that point, and they got 2 runs in the 6th, and they got 5 in the 7th to make it 12-3. So Tim Hill got the win based on the fact that Stroman didn't have a big lead at that point, but it's with the starters, they just have to do enough. I think this year without Garrett Cole and without a big arm that they could probably get. I mean, Sandy Alcantara, he might be a trade deadline. That's a possibility. If the Marlins are so far out of it, and even the Marlins had 3 walk-off wins this weekend. Yeah.
They at the expense of another team that we that we might get into later. I don't know, but man, yeah, it was a surprising week in some respects for baseball. Opening weekend, I'm excited it's back. I'm trying to watch more baseball. Thank you to Verizon Files for randomly removing my MLB TV from my package a couple of years ago. Not happy about that, but I'm going to have to find ulterior means to watch more games because I'm definitely in the mood for some baseball right now.
Victor Locke, friend of the show, joining us in the comment section, says, "How's it going, gentlemen?" And we have to acknowledge Mr. Victor Locke.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Mr. Locke. And I still think about, especially that clip that you brilliantly clipped out when we talked about Mr. Wilford Brimley and whether Andy Reid would ride off into the sunset. That Super Bowl show was a good one.
And he says, "Thank you, guys. Thank you, Victor, for tuning in. We appreciate you, man."
Yeah.
So, but Rodon did get the win on Thursday.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. We talked about that game on Saturday morning. We talked about Devin Williams having that shaky start, and I said, I wonder if they're gonna have to worry about him this weekend. They didn't have to.
Yeah. The games were well within hand for the Yankees. for our
Now,
beloved Yanks.
If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, though, like we talked about the Red Sox possibly making some noise this year. You don't want to be Rafael Devers.
Oh my goodness. He's over. He's over to start the year, Ryan.
Courtesy of Baseball History Nut on Twitter. In 1995, Tony Gwynn had 15 strikeouts and 585 at-bats. In 2025, Rafael Devers has 15 and 19 at-bats.
Oh. Yeah, that's a spicy meatball. And some people, I was listening to the CBS Fantasy Baseball Today podcast, and some people in their comments were speculating whether it was because he's pouting because he has to DH.
Yeah, they put him at DH on Friday.
Yeah,
but he wants to play. He says he wants to play third. No, they signed Alex Bregman to play third base because he's better defensively.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Bregman is better than you defensively, Mr. Devers.
And look, this is a make or break season for Rafael Devers because he's coming up on. He's going to be a unrestricted free agent next year after the end of the season. So if he doesn't put it together, the Red Sox just might say, "Yeah, we'll see you later." Well, we might have to go the way of Xander Bogaerts, like he did a couple of years ago when he signed that big contract with the Padres.
Yeah,
but we've already had our first victim of the, I guess you could say, wellness policy, PED violations.
Oh yeah,
Atlanta Braves left fielder Jurickson Profar suspended for 80 games for violation of the Major League Baseball's PED illegal substance program. Yikes.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't when you think things couldn't get worse for Atlanta, because remember we talked about this last year. They had a disastrous season with
Acuna.
Acuna being lost for the year with his torn ACL.
Mm-hmm.
They started the year 0-5.
Yeah.
And
that's a tough start.
That's a tough start.
And they did, and I think they lost Spencer Strider very early in the year last year, I think, as well. So yeah. and I'm not sure that, man, I'm rusty, but I'm not sure that I don't think he's back. Spencer Strider. I don't know though.
Nah, I think the Phillies fans got to him in 2023 when they went up against him. They gave him hell, and he hasn't really recovered since. But yeah, Jurickson Profar gone for 80 games. He'll be out till at least probably about July.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe All-Star break. Yeah.
Look, if you're going to get that suspension out, get it out now. Join your team in the home stretch. When they need you the most. And right now, 0-5 to start the year for the Braves, who we said, both of us predicted they were going to probably be the AL East winner, or NL East winner, excuse me.
Yeah.
Not a great start.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Definitely not. And let's talk about those Miami Marlins starting off the year 3-2. 3 of those wins this weekend came off of walk-offs.
Yep. They walked off the Pittsburgh Pirates 3 times.
Yikes.
And David Bednar, not looking good as the closing option in Pittsburgh, but I don't think they really have anyone else. And does that make me sad? Yes, because did I, as the GM of my fantasy team, draft David Bednar to be the closer? Because I always seem to forget about closers.
Oh no!
Every once in a while, yes. So I have to figure out some different options here.
So what's the name of your team?
Okay, the name of my team, I didn't want to reveal it, but it is named after a Braves mascot, apparently from the 1970s, that according to Ed Helms from The Office exists, and I couldn't believe it existed. My fantasy baseball team name has been for many years now Chief Nakahoma. So I've had that one for quite some time.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can't change it,
Good for
Ryan.
you. Good for you. Good for you, Dustin. I'm not being sarcastic. I
Yeah.
applaud that. I applaud you, sir.
When Ed Helms said that I was like, there is no way. And then I was like, well, that's the name of my fantasy team now. So it's it made me laugh so hard, Ryan. But I was very strategic, and you're just like, yeah, what's the name of your team? And I'm like, oh, I've stepped in it now.
Say it. Say it. I'm like Sam Kinison in Back to School. Say it. Say it.
Oh man.
And if you're wondering how my foray back into fantasy baseball is going, the UCL Donation Center is currently down to Elizabeth's excellent team by the score of 109-12.
Oh man! Oh man!
I'm
oh man!
down 97 points this week so far.
Don't worry, the season is long. The season is long.
I've got 1, 2, 3 players on my IL, and Connor Norby's going to come off the IL soon. Colton Cowser just went on the IL.
Yeah, Colton Cowser. That's yeah.
So I am bereft of healthy players right now, so it's not looking good for the UCL Donation Center.
Well, to quote a longtime Yankees announcer John Sterling, well, that's baseball, Susan.
That's baseball, Susan. I wonder, since he's retired, we can get him on the show.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be fun.
Awesome.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of bats, Torpedo's away.
Oh man.
We have to talk about this controversy, this made-up controversy in Major League Baseball right now. And this stemmed from Saturday's Yes broadcast by Michael Kay, noting several members of the New York Yankees team, and that at the time was 7 home runs in the first 3 innings against the Milwaukee Brewers. He noted that a lot of some of these players use what are called torpedo bats. Now, you may be asking, Ryan, what are torpedo bats? And this is what a torpedo bat is, according to the Cincinnati Enquirer. It says, according to Major League Baseball, torpedo bats are defined as an untraditional barrel which rests closer to the hitter's hands. The bats are designed to be skinnier at the top end, with noticeably more wood. More wood.
That was a pretty good butt head. I didn't know you
thanks.
I didn't know you had that in there.
Yeah, he said wood.
Oh, there you go. Hit me with the Beavis.
The bats, let me start over again. The bats are designed to be skinnier at the top end, with noticeably more wood in the area around the label where the hitter is most likely to hit the ball to create a custom sweet spot, end quote. Now, the audience at home, and actually I'll bring up a picture of what Jazz Chisholm was using on Saturday afternoon when Michael Kay just happened to say, look at the bat that Jazz Chisholm is using. This is the bat in question. Mm-hmm. It looks like a torpedo. Literally looks like a torpedo. So we had a lot of controversy. And one Mr. Barstool Sports himself, Dave Portnoy, on Twitter this past Sunday, wearing his Boston Red Sox colors literally on his head, was saying that torpedo bats need to be stopped. They need to stop being used. They need to be banned from baseball. This is outrageous. No team should be scoring that many runs and hitting that many home runs in the first 3 games of the season. Aaron Judge had 4 home runs?
Yeah.
In those games, he had 3 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And of course, his usual style of being pro Boston and anti everything New York. Just had to go on a tangent and say, and a rant saying these bats need to be banned. It's bad for baseball. Without doing the proper research. I've got receipts, Dustin.
Good.
got receipts.
Good, because I was about to come off the bench, and I enjoy his pizza reviews. I don't follow much else of his content, but I'm going to let you get into it, Ryan. I'm going to let you get into it.
So the account, and that's baseball. That's baseball. Literally called it That's Baseball. Said, tweeted on Monday, said, I can't believe how many 88 to 92 mile an hour middle cut fastballs the Brewers just threw at the Yankees this weekend, which was quote tweeted by the Warmonger, who said number of fastballs at 90 miles an hour below faced opening weekend with number of results against them. And this account put up a stat because it's WAR. It's the
wins above replacement.
Yes, thank you. I'm not quite the baseball nerd.
Neither am I.
I just see runs scored and wins and losses. That's all I care about. But this person put together a compilation of pitches number of fastballs thrown below 90 miles an hour by the Brewers on opening weekend. The Brewers threw 125 pitches below, and these are fastballs, below 90 miles an hour. They threw 125. The next closest was 81 by the Yankees.
Wow. Okay.
Interestingly enough.
Yeah.
They allowed 5 home runs, and the Yankees hit 350 off of those 125 pitches. So 24.3% of the time, when those pitches were below 90 miles, when those fastballs were below 90 miles an hour, 125 pitches, 24% of the time, they're throwing 24% of the time. Batters were hitting 350 off of them with 5 home runs and a slugging percentage. The slugging percentage, 1.100.
Man.
And then Jazz Chisholm actually quote tweeted Dave Portnoy and just basically roasted him for insinuating that the Yankees were cheating. Because of course the Yankees are cheating.
Yeah.
Why aren't they cheating?
And this is where I want to come off the top rope. Okay. I get it. We're going to get hate as Yankee fans, sometimes deserved, sometimes not.
Put them in the comments. Comments.
We're going to get all this stuff. But the thing that I want to point out to you, because you came with some heat, you came with some data. I respect it.
Oh, I got more. More.
Yeah.
You go ahead. I said enough for now, but you go ahead.
But this is the thing. Because I started doing some looking in, not to the extent that you did and no doubt have, because you have more, which you'll be cracking an egg of knowledge over everybody's head in just a second. But first, I want to say these bats, this is not the first time that it's been used. Okay. It's not the first time that it's been used. And there's a list of players that have been using them, including or have used them at one time, including one superstar from the Reds that we talked about in the top of the show. And the thing is, I saw somewhere, and I can't remember where, so I'll keep the details hazy, but apparently a version of this bat was first started to be used in 2019 by a player. There have been various players that have experimented with this bat. And here is the key point. These bats are within MLB regulation. They are not illegal bats. They are not illegal bats. Any team could use them. Any player could use them. So the Brewers player that came out and said, oh, these bats are illegal, but since it's the Yankees, they'll let it slide. Screw you, buddy. Anybody can use these bats. They're not illegal. You're just hating them because you just got smoked in a series, and you're looking for an excuse as to why these bats are not illegal. I will let you continue, sir.
This is what Jazz Chisholm said yesterday at 12:12 p.m. on Twitter. He says, okay, explanation. The barrel is bigger and within MLB regulation. For the idiots that say it's moved to the label, you're an idiot. Nobody's trying to get jammed. You just move the wood from the parts you don't use to the parts you do. You're welcome. No more stress for y'all.
Yeah, I did see that.
And to continue on who's been using these bats, yes, there are 5 players on the Yankees who currently use these bats. Anthony Volpe, who hit home runs this weekend. Cody Bellinger had a home run Saturday. Jazz Chisholm, who had 3 home runs this weekend. Austin Wells, who had a home run this weekend. And Paul Goldschmidt, who hit a home run in the first pitch of the game on Saturday. Here's a list of the other players who are using torpedo bats this year. Former Yankee, Jose Trevino. Ellie De La Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Adley Rutschman. Ryan Jeffers. On the 0-4 Minnesota Twins. By the way, Governor Tim Walz.
That 182.
We're going 162 and 0.
Yeah, 162.
They're 0-4 since that tweet.
Oh man,
It's hilarious.
He jinxed them.
Francisco Lindor, Junior Caminero, Alex Baum, Bryson Stott, Brennan Marsh, O'Neill Cruz, Davis Schneider, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner. All use, as far as we know, all use torpedo bats. It was also alleged that Aaron Judge used a torpedo bat. He does not. He's just that good.
Yeah, he's raking right now. And Dansby Swanson, he hit a home run for the Cubs this weekend.
Oh, would you look at that?
Is that, are these bats illegal? Is anybody coming after the Cubs saying that these bats need to be outlawed?
Oh, and Ellie De La Cruz has 2 home runs this year.
Yeah. And he went 4 for 5 in a game. Is it because of the bat? I don't think so. The key point that keeps coming back to me is that they're not illegal. Anyone can use them, and they have been using them. Now everybody wants to jump all over the Yankees, but I guarantee you old Pizza Portnoy would be very happy if his Red Sox were using them. He wouldn't say anything. That's the thing. People just hate the Yankees. They want to hate the Yankees. Similarly to the way people feel about the Dodgers right now. If you hate the Dodgers so much, beat them.
Yeah.
Beat them. Mm-hmm. They're doing things well within the rules of baseball. I feel the same way. The Yankees, we had a great opening weekend. The offense will cool down. Yeah. Relax, everybody.
Who could use the torpedo bat right now, Dustin?
Who's that?
Rafael Devers.
He could. But you know what?
I feel bad for the dude, but you're paid extra. You're paid so much money to perform.
Yeah,
and he isn't.
Yeah, and some people have hot springs and some people have ice cold springs. I'm trying to think of there was a player, I can't remember who it is, but there was a player that notoriously, he always struggled early in spring training or early in the spring. And then guess what? Come July or something, he'd get on a hot streak. He'd get it going. It's the way it goes. It's part of the reason why. You want to know what I think is a good bet, Ryan, when the season switches over to football and we go full in? I bet you the Bengals are going to start out a little slow because that just seems to be a trend in the Joe Burrow era. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Some players are streaky. Some players, the Packers have had a great record in December in the regular season. They always seem to catch fire in recent years.
Toyota-thon.
Trends like this happen.
Toyota. Yeah. We talked about this during the season. Jordan Love during Toyota-thon. Great. Otherwise, not so great.
Yeah.
In the comments section, Sig Diggy joining us all the way from Norway. Friend of the show, Sig Diggy saying, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. He says, what in the sin? He shows his corked bat. He also asked, did anybody get pranked today? I don't. No. We don't really do that. I mean, the news already is outrageous enough that we don't need. We really don't need pranks anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple accounts that tried, and like I saw some account that tweeted that the Steelers were trading for Dak Prescott and stuff, and they had the breaking news, Adam Schefter graphic. They had the whole thing. They tried, but I did get pranked in one respect, sick, and it's from a podcast that I listen to every day called History Daily. And for the third consecutive year, or maybe second consecutive, I can't remember, but he got me. The last year, he did a podcast episode that just repeated after 12 minutes. It just kept repeating. And I was like, wait, did I listen to that? And then I'm like, by the halfway through the second time, I was like, yes. And then this morning, he got me. Morning for me. I'm not sure what time it was for you over there, Sick. But this morning, he got me. The avant-garde musician John Cage used to put things under his piano to make weird sounds and stuff. And he said, oh, today, April 1st, 1965, in his apartment, John Cage debuted the piece that would make him famous. And then he played the piece, which was just 5 minutes of silence. He got me. So hats off to Lindsey Graham. Not that Lindsey Graham, but this person is also Lindsey Graham, who does the History Daily podcast. He does others for Wondery. He got me, but other than that, no, I did not succumb to any of the pranks.
It does say that today is still April Fool's Day. Yeah. For another 3.5 hours or 4.5 hours. Anyway, I don't know. I can't tell time. All right, we have to take our network mandated commercial break. When we come back, we have an update on OV Goal Watch 2025. We're also going to reveal our new baseball competition contest, and we're also going to talk about our favorite athletes to ever wear the number 24. Stand by and stay tuned for more. No credentials required.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
That's right, folks. If you're looking for a high-protein, low-sugar snack, gives you a right boost of energy in the late afternoon, you want to rely on our friends at Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. They are a premier sponsor with Belly Up Sports. And I've been getting my teeth into this product for the last couple of years. It's reliable. It's super reliable. They're fast and free shipping with every order. You get the beef jerky, you got the turkey jerky, you got the air dried biltong, you got the beef sticks. You've also got some dog treats. And so turn over to Dustin real quick. He'll talk about those dog treats.
Yeah, the Ranger dog treats. I recently was watching my dog nephew Pickles there, my sister's dog. I was watching him. And he loves them every time he comes over to the house. If I start to go towards the closet where they are, he jumps up on his hind legs and I make him do a couple of tricks. But he gets very, very excited. And in the Christmas season, I must confess, I forgot to get a gift. Pickles was the last one on my list, and I almost forgot his gift. I ordered something from Righteous Felon. I ordered some of the Ranger dog treats on, I think it was December 21st or 22nd, and they arrived the afternoon of Christmas Eve so that I could bring them over for our celebration with Pickles and the family there. So I can't say enough about their fast shipping. I like their beef sticks. I've got to get more of the jerky, but I have had a number of the beef sticks. I've enjoyed them all. I like to put them in my desk drawer at work, grab a quick snack. I just ran out. I've also been handing them out at work, and people have enjoyed them for sure. So if you are one of those people, or if you're someone else that is just like, hey, I'd like to try this, don't forget to use the code BELLYUP, save 15% off your order. I will be doing it after the show because, like I said, I just ran out. I got to re-up.
Yeah, and you get 15% off your order with promo code BELLYUP, but also for every order of $50 or more, Righteous Felon, they give you free shipping. So you can combine the free shipping and your 15% off your order for even more savings. Again, righteousfelon.com, promo code BELLYUP at checkout, 15% off your order. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
No, and that's savings, Susan.
What an ad. What an ad. Mr. Kevin Wilson from Belly Up Fantasy Sports in the comment section saying, good evening, gentlemen. Come on over when you're done and join us for a steak dinner. Yeah, let's go.
All right. It'll be a drive to where you are, Kevin, but we're on our way.
We may be showing up very, very early in the morning for that.
Yeah.
And Sick wants to know, low sugar or low salt? I didn't know jerky had sugar in it. Yes, low sugar. They've also no added hormones or or antibiotics. So it's all natural. So yeah, it's not low salt, it's low sugar because the jerky, you don't tend to get a whole lot of sugar in it in your marinades. So yeah, it's low sugar. So actually it says on the website. Let me share that website with you right now. Boom. There it is. All natural, high protein, made in the USA. Low sugar, no added hormones or antibiotics to the beef. So it's 100% all natural. Can't go wrong with that.
No.
Unlike those other beef jerky companies and beef stick companies, their primary ingredient is pulverized chicken. Shame.
Sorry they did you like that, Macho Man.
Poor Macho Man. Rolling over in his grave. Yeah. All right. We have an update on OV Gold Watch 2025. Let's play that element.
OV Gold Watch 2025.
We are down to 5 goals in total.
He's 5 away. We're gonna witness history, Ryan.
We are gonna witness history. Eventually, we'll witness history. So, our contest goes on, folks, on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Enter that contest. We've a couple entries. Uncle Al put in his entry. I don't think he's going to get that prize because he's at April 1st. And unless he scores a Texas hat trick and then some tomorrow night, I think he might miss out on that one. And Brent from the 1420 podcast, Sports Bar podcast, he said April 4th against Chicago. So at home against
Blackhawks.
So get those entries in, folks. 5 goals away. 5. If you guess, and again, if you're closest to the date that he scores the goal that sets the record, you can win yourself a nice prize package of Invader Coffee, Righteous Felon. Get yourself a nice t-shirt from our store. Bonfire. Go to our Bonfire store, which is in the description. Links in the description. Buy yourself some nice gear. Support the show. Tell the world that you're a credhead.
Yeah.
But if you get the date right, you get not only that prize package, you'll get a bonus prize package as well. So you want to enter in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, put the date in, or even leave a comment. Leave a comment in the comment section on the Billy Up Sports YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Let us know what day you think Alexander Ovechkin breaks that record. All right, we are going to reveal our baseball competition for this season. So last couple seasons, we've done the Battle of the Bryans between Brian Reynolds and Brian Anderson. Last year was our Mendoza backstop challenge. Mendoza line backstop challenge. The race to see which catcher had the lowest batting average. This year, we're going to do something different. We're going to do something team-oriented. And we call this, and we don't have the element just yet. I got to follow up with Mr. Cole Johnson about that audio element. I forgot to do that yesterday, so that's on me. It's the race for the wooden spoon. Now, if you're not familiar with certain countries, now, especially Europe, and I think Australia does this too. And it's not very ceremonious, but this is typically a term for the team that finishes in last place or has the worst record. So they get what's called the wooden spoon. And it's just a fake trophy. It's just a little thing just to say, hey, you tried your best here, but you get this wooden spoon. So what we're doing is that we're picking two teams, one from the National League, one from the American League. We're going to have a race to see who has 100 losses first.
Okay.
So, Dustin, why don't you go ahead and reveal your two teams for the race for the wooden spoon?
All right. Well, my NL pick, I'm going a little bit off the board here, but I am going to pick the Colorado Rockies. I just have a feeling about the Colorado Rockies this year. I don't think they're going to be too good. So that's my rationale behind picking the Colorado Rockies. I don't think they'll be tapping the Rockies much this year. So that's who I'm picking. And I'll let you go next. We'll alternate here. So
All right.
Since I got first pick for the NL, I give you first pick for the AL.
All right. First pick for the AL. This is tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to say White Sox because they've actually gotten off to a strong start.
Yeah, but I don't know if it'll last.
I don't think it'll last either. But I'm gonna throw out this one here. I'm gonna go with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah, because right now they are currently 2-3. They're currently 3-2. So, but again, this is April.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it could go awry where the Toronto Blue Jays could win the AL East for all we know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I think this is a team that is on the decline. I think this is a team that's going to trade away. I think you'll see Vlad Guerrero Jr. Be traded. I think you'll see Bo Bichette be traded because they're both gone at the end of the season anyway. They're both They're both free agents after this season. I don't believe in their pitching, especially their starting pitching. Relief and middle relief is okay, but they picked up Anthony Santander. They overpaid for him, but this team's they've been on the decline. They've been on a decline. They have had unrealized potential, and I think the owners of MLSE, or the owners of the Blue Jays, Rogers, has just realized, you know what, it's time to blow it up and start all over. So I think with that team having too much talent to be this bad is going to want to selling everybody, selling everyone, including the kitchen sink, come trade deadline. So I'm going to pick the Toronto Blue Jays for mine.
All right. You had a lot more reasoning behind yours. I was just like, yeah, I think the Rockies are going to be bad. That's what I said. But I mean, I just have a feeling. Like I said, I just have a feeling. And this next team for my AL pick, I went back and forth. I'm like, should I pick the A's? Because they're kind of in transit. They don't, but I think that could inspire them, Ryan. I think and we don't really know. They've been in what I would consider a tough park to hit for a while now. And now they're playing in Sacramento, we don't know how this is going to go. So I am not picking the A's.
Okay.
Then I said, am I going to pick the White Sox? And I said, no, I'm not going to pick the White Sox because for me, they can't do it 2 years in a row. Do I think they're going to be a great team? No, but if I pick them, I'm like, that ensures that they won't do it. I'm going to say something that's going to make people raise their eyebrows. They might give me a little ire. I am picking the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Okay.
I just feel like Mike Trout is already on the he already got an injury right opening day. He got injured. I don't know if he's on the IL yet, but he got injured. Mike Trout, a world beater of a baseball player, can't stay healthy though the last couple of seasons. And also, I do not believe in ownership of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And it's not like I follow that team, unlike, friend of the show, Dr. Lady, but she follows the Dodgers too, folks. So she's fine. She's fine right now. But the thing is, I just feel like the Angels, they're not going to be good. They're not going to be good. They haven't been good enough to make the playoffs the last couple of years, but I think this is the year that they they don't make it anywhere because I can barely name anyone on their roster. Not that that should matter, but it just they are the perfect pick for maintaining mediocrity right now as they are currently constructed. And I just think this is the year that the wheels finally come off. Does Mike Trout finally end up getting frustrated enough to try to force a trade at the deadline? Does a contending team go after Mike Trout? Because I don't think the Angels are going to be there.
No, I totally believe you there. I could have gone White Sox for mine, but it's too easy.
Yeah.
They won't lose 121 games like they did last year, but I certainly don't think they'll be. I mean, right now I believe they're 3-2 or 2-2 because they I think they swept the Angels. They won two. No, they won 2 out of 3. Actually, hang on. I thought they won 2 out of 3. They went 2-2 against the Angels this past weekend. But let me look at the standings again.
And keep in mind, everybody.
They're 2-2.
Okay. All right. And keep in mind, everybody, Ryan and I are doing this for fun. We're not wishing any ill on any teams. We're not. And you know that both of us at some points, Ryan more than me, but both of us will put a lot of research and prep into certain things. This is not one of them. We're just picking teams based off our gut.
We're at the top of the noggin.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So my pick for the National League. And I had Colorado as one of my teams to pick for the Wooden Spoon. But I'm going to go with the Miami Marlins for this one.
Okay. See, that's why I didn't go there because I thought that was going to be your pick. I thought that was going to be your pick.
No, I mean, because considering they're 3-2 right now, it's April 1st.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could have certainly said the Milwaukee Brewers, but the Milwaukee Brewers are too good of a team to lose 100. And again, we're coming off of opening weekend, and it's uncanny that a team allows 15 home runs in 3 games.
Yeah.
Uncanny.
Yeah. And really, we have no business predicting anything at this point in the season, which is part of the fun of it.
Exactly. So, but the Miami Marlins, yeah, I can only name a couple of players off the top of my head from that team. And one of them is on my fantasy team and currently on the IL. So awesome start to the year. But nobody goes to their games. Nobody believes in them. The Derek Jeter years have passed. And they just don't have a lot of star power. I just don't feel like they're gonna be a farm feeder for everybody again, for different teams again. So great start right now, 3-2. But again, this is April 1st. They lost handily to the Mets yesterday. Mm-hmm. I saw a highlight where the Mets batter hit it towards center field, and a Marlins player went up to jump up and looked like he caught the ball over the fence, but then it popped out of the palm of his glove and hopped over the fence, and he lost the ball. And all he could do was just smile and just be like, it's like, that's the face of pain right there.
Oh man. And
that's going to signify your entire season.
Yeah.
In Miami. So, like I said, I feel bad. I feel bad for them, but they're professionals. They're paid to do a job. They're paid to perform on the field. And if you're not doing it, well, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're getting to live their dream, which not everybody gets to do. So
no, they don't. All right. We're going to conclude our show with our favorite athletes to wear the number 24. This is again, we're corresponding our favorite athletes with the number of the episode. This is episode 24 of 2025. And we're at number 24. Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm going to flip the script here. And I'm going to reveal my favorite athlete to wear the number 24 first. Because I feel a feeling that you're going to go for a bit there, Dustin. With your pick. But my favorite number 24, my favorite athlete to wear the number 24 was Darrelle Revis, New York Jet. That's right, folks. Where is it? Where's that element? Homer alert! That's right, folks. I picked a member of my beloved New York Jets as my favorite athlete to wear the number 24. That's right, Darrelle Revis, my favorite athlete to wear the number 24, was every bit of how he was projected. His career wound up every bit as it was going to be predicted when he was drafted by the Jets in 2007. A couple rough first years as a member of the Jets. Remember him getting cooked by Randy Moss, the New England Patriots, in Week 1 of the 2007 season. Granted, he was a rookie. Granted, it was the Cobra Kai New England Patriots that went 16-0 in the regular season and had one giant loss. That's right, folks. I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after 2007, he learned from that season. And then 2008 comes along, and Eric Mangini unlocks him. And granted, we saw what happened with Eric Mangini. The Brett Favre season, they start 8-3. They finish 9-7. They get out of the playoffs. Mangini's fired. They bring in Rex Ryan, and that's where he starts to become a leader of that defense. Mm-hmm. And you can tell, 2009, 2010, he's a leader of that defense. He locked. I remember the game where Chad Johnson, at that time going by Chad Ochocinco, yes, he had changed his name to Ochocinco on the back of his jersey. He said in a game, I believe it was the last game of the 2008 season or 2009 season. It was week 16. The Jets had to win to get in. And spoiler alert, they did. They go in, and Chad Johnson says, if Darrelle Revis doesn't get a catch. If I can't get a catch off of Darrelle Revis, I'll change my name back to Chad Johnson. Well, guess what happened that game? Big old goose egg.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets wound up going to the playoffs, winning that miracle run. Almost went to the Super Bowl that year. Same thing repeated a lot the next season. Had an awful end of 2010 season, but then in the playoffs, they win 2 on the road. They go to Pittsburgh. They lose in Pittsburgh. And unfortunately, a couple of rough years after that, got traded to Tampa. Actually, I believe we got traded to Tampa Bay. If I'm not mistaken, no, or he signed with Tampa Bay as a free agent. I can't remember off the top of my head. But goes to Tampa Bay, has okay seasons there.
Yeah.
But then he's traded to the arch enemy, the evil empire, New England, and he wins the Super Bowl with them. I'm sure Dustin will remember, unfortunately, because that was against his team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he gets gets his Super Bowl ring. I'm glad he got his ring, but it sucks that it had to happen with the Patriots, with the arch enemy.
Yeah.
But then after that year, he goes back to the Jets and concludes his career with them. Spends the next couple of years with them. Actually, he actually went to Kansas City in 2007. That's where he ended his career. Played the last 5 games that season with them.
Oh,
yeah. I played the last 5 games of the season with them. And yes, he was traded to the Jets to the Buccaneers for the first overall for their first pick in 2013, which actually wound up being Sheldon Richardson. And what's funny is that the Jets had actually traded with the Panthers to move up to 14 in 2007 to get Darrelle Revis. They wanted him that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
all right. So they knew what he was going to be.
It was a draft day trade with the Panthers. It was the Jets. It was the Panthers pick at 14 and a 6th round pick for the Jets pick at 25, a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick. And that 2nd round pick actually wound up being pretty good for the Panthers. It wound up being Ryan Khalil, who had a great career with them.
Oh yeah,
the Panthers.
Yeah.
So Darrelle Revis, he's my favorite athlete to wear number 24. Dustin, how about you? Number 24.
Number 24. If you've listened to the show for any length of time since I've been on it, you know who this is going to be. And I've told the story, some variation of the story many times. My favorite athlete to wear number 24, and this has happened as I've gotten older, is Ken Griffey Jr. Okay, Ken Griffey Jr., he's my pick. He's my pick for a myriad of reasons. Not only was he a talented player, he's a 5-tool player. He had it all. Gold gloves, he's got them. MVPs, he's got them. All-star, he was an all-star for a decade before the run was broken, where he was not picked to go to an all-star game. He was a phenom. He was a phenom. They call him in Seattle, they just called him the kid.
Yep.
Okay. He really was one of the poster children of the game in the late 90s. Everybody was modeling their game after Ken Griffey Jr., Andrew Jones. That's when center field was always kind of a glamour position in baseball, but that's when it really became one. Torrey Hunter with the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
All these center fielders became extremely well known. I have a soft spot for Bernie Williams. I always will. He's a great player. I loved having Bernie in center field, but Griffey was next level. Griffey made everything. And I will be honest, I disliked Griffey a lot when I was younger because he had said those things about the Yankees. He had said all those things that he wouldn't come there based on how his dad was treated and all of the, and I just thought he was arrogant. That's what I thought when I was younger. I thought that Ken Griffey Jr. was arrogant, and I didn't feel like he had a respect for the game, quote unquote. And I remember my dad being angry when Griffey wore his hat backwards to the home run derby. And my dad was like, that's a sign of disrespect. He doesn't care. Who would have thought? My dad's an old school guy. All right. He was born in 1942. So I got to keep that in perspective. But those are the things that I was hearing, and now everybody wears their hat backwards at the home run derby. It's not a thing, but I remember that 99 home run derby. My dad was not happy about that, but Griffey had one of the sweetest swings you will ever see in your life. He was a lefty. I'm a lefty. I'm not comparing myself to Griffey, but I always root for lefties when they do well. And I'm going to tell you what started to turn. I always knew Griffey was a talented player, and part of it could have been jealousy because he said straight up, not going to play for the Yankees. And I always wished he was there, probably in the back of my mind, especially when I saw him the season he hit 54 home runs. They beat the Yankees, my first Yankee game that I went to. They beat the Yankees 13-2 that day. So part of it was probably sour grapes. But I'm going to tell you when the car turned on Griffey for me. After he was traded to the Reds, in the peak of the steroid era, you started to question. You're like, okay, McGuire was using steroids, Bonds using steroids, Sosa using steroids. Griffey put up numbers that all those guys put up. And I can almost guarantee he never used steroids. You want to know why? Because his body broke down like a normal person. Couple of years into that Reds contract, you started to see his decline. He was still good, but his bat speed wasn't quite where it was. His fielding range, he started to lose it a little bit. And most importantly, the injuries. As the injuries piled up for Ken Griffey Jr., and he just couldn't stay healthy anymore, and he couldn't recover, that's when my respect for him ironically started to grow, because I realized he was doing this all natural. He's getting hurt like most players would as they get older. He's not able to recover. He doesn't quite have the strength. Still a great hitter. He always had that swing. But as his body broke down, my respect for Griffey went up and up and up. And he's one of the players that as I've gotten older, I'm very happy that I got to see him play. I'm very, his highlights, you just realize how good he was. And I miss having that swing not in the game anymore. Ken Griffey Jr. is my pick for my favorite number 24.
We got a comment in the comment section. Julie from Michigan chiming in with her favorite number 24, Miguel Cabrera, the last Triple Crown winner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good pick as well.
Yes. Still, but he was in the 2003 Marlins team that beat the Yankees in the World Series. And again, this is why I don't appreciate the Marlins, because 97 they pretty much bought that title with all that Wayne Huizenga did that spending spree to get all those players. And then a year later trades them all because he suddenly realizes, oh crap, I can't afford to keep them.
Yep.
And they build up their farm system. They got all these guys, and Josh Beckett, Josh Beckett, Miggy Cabrera,
AJ Burnett,
Juan Pierre, AJ Burnett.
Dontrell Willis.
Yeah. He fell apart as soon as he was traded. My goodness.
He did. Yeah, he really did. He really did. But they to your point, Ryan, they won it all again with Jack McKeon, I think, right, in 2003. And then they blew it up. They blew it up immediately after that again.
Yeah, it was.
Giancarlo Stanton was there.
He was. And I'm trying, and you might be right about the Jeff Torborg started the year with them, and then Jack McKeon finished it.
Yeah.
And another reason why I don't appreciate the Marlins in 2003, Jeff Luria, who weaseled his way out of Montreal, being owner of the Montreal Expos, and decided to buy the Marlins and got himself a title. Now he's left this realm, but the underhandedness of him selling the Expos to the Major League Baseball so he can buy the Marlins, and he got himself a title.
Yeah.
What a dick.
That was one of the most genuine reactions I've seen on the show. It was fantastic.
I've always wanted to say that too.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're gonna get out of here. Again, don't forget, Saturday's show is a pre-recorded show. It'll be a special, No Credentials Required special, where we talk about the Netflix limited series, Mr. McMahon. We've got a lot of thoughts about that limited series, which came out last year. But in the meantime, and we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be back live on Wednesday, not Tuesday, because I'm coming back on Tuesday. But we'll have a show and just do a live stream on. I think what time did we agree upon? I can't remember.
I think you had mentioned about 7:30, 8 o'clock, or possibly
like
8:30, somewhere in that age, that time range.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, go ahead and follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search No Credentials Required. And also go to bellyupsports.com for many more of our podcasts and our written articles. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeart, and Pandora. And also don't forget to hit that like button, to hit that notification bell, on Twitter and on YouTube. That way you know when we go live, that we have show announcements. You get the idea of what's going on with us. You'll get a final determination of when we'll be live on Wednesday. So tune in then. On the podcast side, rate, review, leave a comment. Again, 5-star rating would be helpful. Leave a review where you can, and also on Spotify, leave us a comment. We want to give a shout out to our podcast listeners, because we have hit over 1,200 listeners already.
Wow.
For 2025. So last year we finished with 2,500. We set a goal for this year for 3,000. We're already at 1,200. So thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who is listening. We appreciate it, whether you're here in the United States or your world, or you're abroad somewhere else. Again, all those things help ratings, reviews, comments. Let us know where you're commenting from. Let us know where you're reviewing from. It's not only helpful, but it makes us realize that you're listening, which is great.
Yeah. And to all those listeners, thank you. I'm still mystified that people like to listen to me speak in front of a microphone, but I'm glad you do. And
Likewise.
if you love what we do, go ahead and give us a review on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you're listening from.
And also buy some merch.
Yeah.
Buy some merch at the Bonfire store. Links in the description. Get yourself a nice t-shirt. Let the people know that you're a cred head. So in the meantime, with all that said, thank you for tuning in to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, a.k.a. John Cena's chauffeur, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Again, we'll be back next Wednesday. Time to be determined, but we'll let you know when we're back live. Saturday show is pre-recorded, but tune in anyway. Let us know what you think. In the meantime, I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, wait, I'll be back next week. But we'll talk to you then, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night, everybody.